Welcome to episode 1 of the No Read Book Club, Atomic Habits. So, this episode we're going to cover the intro and the first chapter. As we said, we're going to work through some main themes rather than try to summarize the whole parts of the book here, okay? So the biggest thing, and I don't know about you guys, and I'd like to hear from you, so make sure to leave comments, that I got in chapter 1 was that as we work toward our goals, it's not about these big transformations, like once-in-a-lifetime transformations. It's about the little things that we do every single day. And those little things that we do are easy to dismiss. We'll use the example of fat loss, right? So like if you had a good week and you worked out 3 times, and you're working towards fat loss, but you're still overweight, as you begin your goal. Or, you chose to pass on dessert and maybe chose a healthier meal, right? And you're doing a good job and it's, the first couple weeks in, but it's like, man, I'm still overweight. I don't see that much of a difference. That's normal. So if we look at time, I'm going to write backwards here. Pretty good. And if we have habits on this one, okay, what we think will happen is that it's a pretty steady increase, even right from the beginning. We kind of expect results right off the bat, and I'm the same way. But that's not reality. A salad over, a dinner with mashed potatoes, not going to make a huge difference by itself. Neither is working out a couple times versus not. Not going to make a huge difference in the beginning. But over months and years, it makes a large difference. So we can't expect big change right in the beginning. But if we look at what really happens, is a slow, kind of steady increase, okay? But then over years, because we've had years of good habits, our results begin to more accelerate. So that leaves kind of this middle area, which the author, I think, awesomely labels the Valley of Disappointment. So this is the Valley of Disappointment. And I think it kind of gives us power to label it too. So when we're in it, we know, we're like, okay, I know these good things, I'm doing good, but I'm not seeing results right away. All right, that's normal. I'm disappointed, but that's normal because if I keep these up over months or years, I'm going to get to where I need to be. And that's what we have to keep focused on. Make sure that you're not focused on where you're at the current moment, but the trajectory of where you're at. So if we kind of look, let me erase this really quick. Need a bigger eraser. If we looked at our trajectory, there's a big difference, especially in the beginning, between this or if I just slightly angle it the other way, okay? The author used the example of if you were flying from LA and you change the plane's nose just a few feet, it's not gonna make a big difference in LA. But if you're trying to get to New York City and you just change the trajectory of the nose of the airplane, you're gonna, just a couple feet, again, not that big of a deal in the beginning, but you're gonna end up over the course of the flight, you're gonna end up in Washington, D.C. So if it's the difference of losing 10 pounds of fat or gaining 10 pounds of fat, it's not that big of a difference in the very beginning, but over time, those habits do make a large difference. Now, if you get discouraged in our kind of different trajectory, right, other than what we expect, it's important that you can kind of picture it like this, and this is a good example. When a tree grows, before we see any real progress, it's establishing roots. Okay? So as you are working toward your goal, picture yourself, if you're getting a little discouraged, picture yourself, okay, I'm establishing roots, I'm growing roots, before we start to see that progress of that tree starting to grow. And then, right around here maybe, is when we start to see the tree above the surface. But without all of this, we can't see this. So it's really important that we establish that root system. Every workout and every meal matters. Just like every little watering and every little root and every little thing that the tree eats, it matters in the beginning, because before it can start to sprout, it has to have that root structure. Think of it this way as well. We talk about saving for retirement. You put a little bit in each month. We know with compounding that by the end of 30 years might be a whole lot of money that you can retire off of. But if you just looked at it after year one, it wouldn't be anything close to that. But without doing this part here, without doing that year one of investing, you can never be able to retire in 30 years off of it. It's the same idea as you work toward whatever goal you have established for this year. So again, if you get a little discouraged, be like, hey, I'm establishing roots. This part is absolutely necessary to get to the next step. Lastly, the author goes over, James Clear, the author goes over the difference between goals and systems and why goals aren't enough. Because the person who loses 10 pounds of fat and achieves their goal versus the person who does not, they both have the same goal. So the difference isn't the goal, it's their systems. So I thought he said something very powerful, and we'll wrap this video up with that, is that we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. So the problem, if you're not accomplishing what you're setting out to accomplish, the problem isn't you, it's your systems. And again, I'll say that one more time. We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. In the next few chapters, we're going to start to learn how to build better systems and replace old ones. All right, guys, nice work. I'll see you there.